Hi, my name is Megan, and I'm going to be talking about team cohesion for a sports team. So, team cohesion is when your team can work together in a type of way where not only can they get along on the court, but they can also get along outside of the court or outside of the field. It's just being able to work together as a team and not have any hostility towards each other, any problems towards each other, or it's the fact that, oh, if I do have a problem with her or a problem with him, like we can sit down and we can work through this. And when we are on the team together, we're on the court, we're on the field, whatever it may be, that you're able to put your differences aside and work together as a team for the goal of winning a game. So I think team cohesion is basically the most important thing when it comes to sports, because if you're not working together well, on the court, on the field, that you're not, if you have all these problems like on the field, like you're not going to be able to work together and get to the goal of winning that game. So that would be my number one thing, is making sure that your team can work together, and also just squashing anything that, like if a girl has a problem with another girl or a guy has a problem with a guy, like making sure that those problems don't happen, or if they do happen, making sure that you're mediating that type of conflict as a coach, and realizing that it is important for your teammates to get along so that you can have a winning and successful season. And that can mean winning all of the games, but that could also mean just your team getting along very well and like supporting each other and making sure that, they're putting their best foot forward when it comes to winning a game. And if they don't, that they're still together, they're still like complimenting each other, like, hey, like maybe we didn't win, but at the same time, like we're able to just be with each other even if they didn't win. Like, hey, you did good, like we didn't win, it was a hard game, but like there's still a team after a loss if that happens, because you want these teammates around you, win or lose, because it's just important to have that team cohesion so that people can just support each other through and through. So I myself have been on a couple different sports teams throughout high school, and then I didn't continue playing sports in college, but I have been on different sports teams, whether it be the type of sport or at the high school or in the club level. So I've had different coaches and they have done different things, and I've learned so many great things from coaches, and I've also learned great things from this class and from just watching how players interact with each other while watching other teams play. So my number one like favorite thing is, I was giving a carabiner like clip that every teammate got one, and you sit there and you clip them all together, and it's basically this big ring of carabiners all put together, and it's to kind of like symbolize the unity of the team when they're on the court. You put it all together before you go out on the field, on the court, put it next to or underneath a chair, and that's just supposed to symbolize like, hey, like we're in this together and we're gonna try and work as a team for here, because all the links are chained, and then if someone didn't bring their chain, it was very frowned upon. So everyone brought their chain, you put it together, put it under a seat, and that was just supposed to symbolize and make us seem like one, a team as one, like we are all working towards the same goal here. So let's put our differences aside if we have any. We're working together for this team right now. So sometimes you're not able to have a good relationship with all the girls or all the boys on the team. So there's stuff that you have to do to help squash those problems. One of the ways that I learned was making them do something fun and putting them together for, like, maybe I'm just gonna use an example for volleyball. Instead of like doing a drill or something, make them come up with a dance, and you have to perform this dance as a team and show it off in front of the rest of the team. Like, go find a song, perform a dance. It makes people laugh together. It brings laughter to the whole group. And sometimes you're able to have conversations with these people that you maybe didn't know about, or maybe you like had a little bit of problems with them, but putting them together and also, getting them out of the setting of the sport that they're playing can help a lot, I feel like. So getting them to do like something fun outside of the sport, but also do it with the teammates that they're in the sport with, can also help a ton. Another thing that I would recommend is doing community service. So getting out and benefiting the community where it's not just about your sport. So going out, maybe doing a canned food drive and like getting your teammates to bring something in. Maybe set a goal and you don't go deliver these until you get that goal. So teammates are always like, hey, like make sure you're bringing in your stuff. Like we really want to do this for the community. Or maybe going out to a house in the community where they need some housework or something, or they just need some help walking their dog, or you never know, there's certain different like community service opportunities throughout the community where, you know, you go walk dogs for the dog shelter, or you go to the soup kitchen and you make lunch or dinner or breakfast or whatever they need for that day. Just being able to do that as a community or doing that for the community as a team can also really help build those relationships and bring up conversations that are not normally talked about when you are like on the field or on the court. Like it's all about volleyball, all about baseball, all about whatever when you're on or you're in the action of playing that sport. But getting in the outside and like having and growing these connections that are not just about the sport, but also about, you know, people in the community and like growing as human beings and, you know, going through life together when you're in that season of playing the sport. So it's also building those relationships so that when maybe the season ends, that you have a new friendship and you have new people to lean on when you go through hard times. So it's just being able to be in community with your teammates is what makes them have highly motivated people that want to come in and want to play the sport. And as a coach, that's what you really want. You want teammates that are going to come up and show up for your team and help motivate the ones that are younger. I also just believe that, you know, there are different, like a freshman and a senior, like sometimes they're really hard to connect with one another. So making sure that you're setting aside a time for the senior and the freshman to talk. Like maybe putting them in the group settings when you go and do a dance. Like maybe making sure they pair up when you go to the dog shelter and walk the dogs. Like making sure you're putting all levels of ages and classes in a group so that everybody can kind of mingle with each other. Because I do know like a freshman is more likely to talk with a freshman. So just making sure that every like level of your teammates are working together, or just making sure that people are meeting with other people so that can bring that whole cohesion together. So yeah, that is my advice for cohesion and why, just what it is and how I think about it and why it's so important and how you can improve when your team may be having a harder time with cohesion.